Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Torin here with another Warhammer Total War Online commentary. In this particular battle, I'm going to be piloting the Greenskins, or more specifically, the Goblin Hordes. Someone bet me on the channel, asked me to play a game with an all-Goblin army, but they said I could use monstrous units, so I decided to go with that. So, again, I do have the Ragnarok Spider as well as the Giant. So, as far as my army goes, I have a full rank of Goblins with the Spear Infantry, the Shielded Goblins back here. I have a secondary line of Goblins sandwiched between them. I have a Giant, I have an Orc War Boss, which I guess is kind of cheating too, and then an Orc Shaman as well on his pig. I meant to put him on a flying mount, and I think I had the resources to do it, but I just totally ran out of time and was spacing out, so I was kind of bummed about that, but regardless, he'll get there eventually. And then I have the Ragnarok Spider. I have a siege line of Doom Diver Catapults because they are goblins, and they also happen to be my preferred siege unit for the Greenskin, so I was very happy about that, and these guys are getting ready to do some work. So in the back line, I have Vanguard deployment of Goblin Wolf Riders, and then another group back there. So again, they'll be pretty decent. Hopefully they'll be able to get a sneaky gank on these Thunderers back here, and we'll be able to do some good work. So my opponent, as far as his army composition goes, he is playing the Dwarfs, as you guys can see. He has Ungrim Iron Fist, which is a staple, and definitely very, very fun as the Dwarves. Again, it could be debated that the Lord with the potions is the way to go, but again, I feel like it's sacrilege to not get Ungrim. So he has Ungrim, he has a Thane, and then he has a second Thane. I think he made a big mistake not bringing a Runesmith, that the buffs and just his abilities in general would be quite good against what I'm using, and against any Greenskins, really. So he has front line of Longbeards. He has a cannon here. He also brought Iron Drakes, which again are another unit I think are not very cost effective, but they're definitely cool and very, very fun. So you guys get to see the divers coming in here. And in the back line, he actually has 3 groups of Thunderers, which is pretty heavy duty. Man, those guys just took a beating. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And he did get some Gyrocopters as well, which kind of sucks for me because they can just, once my army advances, they can just fly and kill these Doom Diver Catapults pretty easily. So again, I kind of just accepted that and knew that they would get back there eventually. So, but again, they are a very big investment, these copters. So I wasn't too bummed about it. So again, both armies begin to advance. I'm kind of staying stationary because I have the siege superiority. So I was going to kind of let him take a little bit more of the initiative here because again, I can just shoot into these guys all day and just do massive damage. I mean, that group has taken a good 20-30% of its HP. So I was very confident with that, and again, Doom Diver Catapults are very, very good. I find that they're very accurate, and again, it does have guided in the tooltip if you actually mouse over them. Let me go back here and show you guys real quick. It says it is a guided projectile, so again, the accuracy I think is definitely worth it. And they've done substantial damage already to his Iron Drakes, which are a very, very expensive unit, and they've also done pretty decent damage to his front line, which will be good when the goblins get here and start to rain some havoc. So I slowly start to advance my wolves from the tree line. I wanted to get them in position, and he seemed very focused on the front line. I don't think he was really cognizant of what was going on over here. And he does begin to fly his gyrocopters around, which I can't really do anything about unless I left a group back there. But again, they can just sit above and shoot down. So I just kind of was, of the mindset that I get as much value as I can out of that and just continue to bombard this dwarvish army. So again, I was kind of alternating targets and looking for the really clustered units here, and I was really getting some good results from these guys, just diving into these Thunders. And this group's almost already, destroyed. It has 30 leadership, so even if these Goblin Wolf Riders get a rear charge on that group of Thunders, it will break. So I was very happy about that. So again, my one concern was that his Thunderers would be in good position, but again, his formation is a little strange. I'm not sure why these guys were looking over here. And again, this may not have been the most competitive game, but I just wanted to show you guys the all-Goblin army. So again, we'll see how it goes. I was concerned that my Giant and Ragnarok Spider would take some damage, and he did do a good job targeting it with his cannon. But again, it's not that much damage compared to what he's taken from all of my artillery attacks here. So definitely not bad for me. And his Thunders are now shooting at the Spider, which is exactly what you want to do. But to be honest, I don't think his front line is strong enough, especially since he invested in all these weird things like Iron Drakes and those Copters. If he didn't get these, he could have such a powerful line. And he also made a huge mistake not bringing any Slayers. Though a lot of Orc players actually don't get and I used the foot. I dropped the foot down there, and I wanted to disrupt these Thunderers. And I also timed it with this Goblin Wolf Rider charge, so I had them hidden in the tree, so I don't think he was really aware of it. And they come in here and do a really good job, and they go through and basically clean up that entire group of Thunderers, and I was very happy about that. So Ned and the Goblins are engaging across all fronts. This group I brought on the flank, but unfortunately they're going to get roasted here and make these Iron Drakes look good. But the front line is going pretty well. These Goblins are going to take most of the damage from his melee troops. And what's going to happen then is these large units aren't going to take a lot of focus damage. And again, Longbeards aren't going to be that great against these guys. They do have charge defense against large foes, but other than that, they're not going to be able to kick out the damage to burn these down once the Thunders are offline. And as you can see, the Goblin Wolf Riders are just running amok in his back line. And then those Doom Divers were able to really just completely negate those Thunders as well. So front line's going pretty well here. These Goblins, I use Air We Go on them. And again, they're starting to actually cut through these Longbeards a little bit with that plus 58 melee attack. It was not bad at all. So again, it's pretty decent strategy, and with some certain lore tactics, lore of magic and whatnot, you can actually make goblins pretty cost-effective little soldiers. So I have the Orc Shaman here fighting with his guys, doing pretty well. And the Giant, I just marched it right through the line, and he just grabbed that poor dwarf. That's definitely not going to be a good time for him. So he got through the front line and started to really pressure the back. And again, the Giants do cause terror, and they are anti-infantry, and he made a big mistake, again, not bringing Slayers. So my War Boss is kind of running with his crew here, and they're getting ready. And again, the War Boss is a very, very good choice for Greenskin/Orc leadership. The fact that he can carry the dual potions makes him very resilient. And, again, it kind of, with the new Beastman DLC and the fact that a lot of these lords can carry those potions, it really killed that. Didn't kill, but it really put a damper on that general sniping meta, which I think was very good for the game. Although the potions can be abused quite a bit with certain factions. So again, he has Ungrim here, Ungrim and a Thane, but they won't be able to hold up long against all these fodder units, as well as this War Boss who has the potions, because that Giant will really tear into him. So as far as the rest of the battle goes, the front line's going quite good. These Goblins, even though they have poor leadership, they held for a long time. They didn't break, and they're still confident and eager. Granted, they have this giant Ragnarok spider fighting with them, so things could be worse. Over here, things were going relatively well. Again, he brought a lot of low-tier infantry. He didn't bring Slayers, Hammers, anything like that. And I think that was really rough for him. The one flank he did win was over here with this Thane. They were able to drive off 2 groups of Goblins, I believe. I think one of them got wiped out or was chased off. And so, again, it wasn't bad. He did finally get these Iron Drakes online, but, they really don't even do that much damage. They might have gotten like 6 or 7 Goblin kills there and broke them, but, again, Goblins are so expendable, and these guys will just unbreak here in a minute and come back. And these Goblin Wolf Riders who are just, cheap expendable units are able to just completely shut these guys down, as they have been all game. So, again, I think maybe if he had some Slayers or some other units, he could have had a pretty good chance here. But, the absence of the anti-large and what he did have against the anti-large was pretty much sacked by those Goblins and those Doom Diver catapults. They just did some serious work on those Thunderers before the battle started. So, again, I really like Doom Diver catapults, and one of my big complaints about Dwarves is that they don't have really good artillery. You would think that the Dwarves, in terms of lore and their faction and, the history of Dwarves in contemporary and historical fantasy would have really good siege and artillery units, but they really don't. I think their artillery is outshined by the Empire. It's outshined by the Greenskins, in my opinion. And it's just too bad because, again, I think that's something that would really benefit them. But, again, I think he kind of just had a mishmash of melee troops here that weren't able to deal with these sheer numbers. Again, Dwarf Warriors and Longbeards aren't going to be able to cut through fodder units very well. Thankfully, the Goblins were shielded, so they were a little resilient to those Thunderers. But those Wolf Riders, I'm telling you, the Vanguard deployment on them is quite good, especially for what you're getting. You're paying 350, and they could theoretically shut down a group of Thunderers who are a much more expensive unit. So, again, pretty good. The Giant was fun. He took a lot of damage, but the Spider and the Giant really crushed that front line and pushed through. But the true MVP of this game was the Doom Diver catapults. Very, very strong. And against Dwarves, I always bring in excess of them. I've even brought up to 4 at certain points, and perhaps with this Goblin composition, maybe I could have afforded to. So again, good game to Tengri. Look forward to seeing you get on Ladderbud, and thank you all for watching. Really appreciate the support, and I'll try and post some more Goblin battles over the next few days. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.